Well, is everybody back for more punishment? I see. This is sort of a midweek update because there's some nice pictures coming up towards the end. If you don't like the video, just skip 2/3 through it. There's some stuff at the end you might want to see. This would look pink pants. That's Bia and boy, and they're working on that dirt pile, and it looks like they're taking it from here and putting it over here. You won't have to endure them backfilling this tilapia tank up here because it's 3 feet out of the ground. It's only partially buried. There's 8 feet of it in the ground. The other 3 feet's up. Let's go on and see what we can find here. I thought that was Boy It, but that's Nene. He's putting the tape on the door jamb. We do that so the concrete doesn't stick to it. We've used that probably 26 pours. We only have two, one big, one small. This is bathroom 2 of the 4 that are alike. My wife says, why'd they fill in the niches? If you see, there's a piece of phenolic board here, and there's one across and one at the top. That all comes out. And this little bit of overrun of concrete here, they'll just chip that off to a square corner. Glass blocks goes in here. They stick 1 inch to the outside, and that leaves 5 inches thick of wall for what we call niches. That's where you put your shampoo and soap and all that. And there's one on the end here, and there's one on the other side of the door there. And that's that picture. I'm not sure what we're looking at here, other than it's the same bathroom. And he's in the middle of taping this because I can see his hand sticking down here at the bottom. This is showing the lintel at the bottom of the door of bathroom 1. Now you notice there's a crack here, or it looks like a crack. I'm pretty sure it's a crack. All concrete needs reinforcing bar, but this is going to be completely covered in tile, and the ends of it are fit around things, so I don't think it can slide left or right or front or back. So I just couldn't see trying to drill into these end walls over here and put a bunch of rebar in there. We're not absolute perfectionists, at least not all the time. We do a lot of things more than we need, but I didn't need rebar there, so I thought I would just not tell them to put it. This is just a little view farther back. And you see the rebar sticking out of the top. That's because there's another short lift goes up here. It'll leave 16 inches to the ceiling. And this beam is 24 inches. So it'll be up around here someplace. And that's where we can put 1 row of glass block or 2 rows of glass block at the top. We want to leave an air gap above the top block to draw air in because there's a ventilation fan in this wall. And we want, with the door closed, we want to make sure that the air comes from the ceiling and gets rid of condensation. That's bathroom 1 with the stuff taken out, making room for the blocks. Okay, this is bedroom 3, and Al's putting in the window or the door buck. There's a bottom half that's rectangular, and then there's a round part goes on the top. It's a semicircle. And this is the spacing of the bars going up and down. This is bathroom 4 of the 4 that are the same. These are like Jack and Jill bathrooms for the 2 bedrooms, I guess. They're en-suite bathrooms. That's what you call them. This rebar pattern, let's see if we can, there you go. You have them closer together near the edges of the concrete at the bottom edge and the top edge, and then evenly spaced between here. That's because it's like tearing a piece of paper. If you can get the edge tore, you can tear the whole sheet. So we get a half a bay height and then one between that. So if these are 10 inches, these first 2 would be 5, and it would be 2.5 between. I'm not sure that these are 10, and I'm not sure that that's 5, but it works something like that. The other thing is, these are all done with notch boards. We take a board and cut like 4 boards, stay on edge, side by side. You cut notches where you're going to put your rebars. So you can stand those up around here and set the bars in the notches and just tie them. We notch board just about everything in the house, have from the first day. I don't know if anybody else does it, but that's the way we do it. Now, these are drilled into the floor down here about 3 inches, but they're not drilled into the walls. The dead weight of it here should keep her from going up and down. But if in earthquakes propagate, it's a wave. It does go up and down, but it also goes side to side. And those drilled in there, and the fact that it's L-shaped will keep it from going any place. They'd probably get a hairline crack in the skim coat all the way around it. Anyway, the advantage using this particular kind of notch boards is if later on we want to drill a hole in this wall, we know exactly where the horizontal bars are everywhere in the house. We don't necessarily know where the vertical bars are in this bathroom, but we have pictures on, and probably in some of the videos, walk around videos, and some of them might be in these slideshows that we're doing right now. That'll show us where we started the full 4-foot wide forms, because the rebars on those go particular places, and they're exactly the same over the entire house. But when the last form before a wall, there'll be a space in there. It'll have a bar in it in the middle of that space, but we have to know where all the rest of them are, and we can walk up and we could pretty much draw on top of this skim coat all the rebars in the house if we wanted to. Don't care to, but we could. We haven't got any conduit like this wall box. The conduit will be under that middle receptacle and dead straight up to the top. We don't have any horizontal conduits anywhere in the house. There's no connection between any of these outlet boxes down in the house. They're only connected at the sub panel, which is on an interior column straight above this room. This room and the not a room above it, they have a sub panel. There's 10 sub panels. That way you only have to run a wire to the sub panel, and all these other wiring runs are short. It's like a one-room house. Saves a lot of wire, saves a lot of time, and gives you a lot of more circuit breakers. This is just the forms put up with end pieces put on them. They got to put 2 pieces of conduit in here yet, and other than that, that's ready to pour. Okay, he's bolting up the forms for the 3rd pour on bathroom 2. You get a 4-foot, and then you move up. The bottom holes goes in the top holes of the first pour, so you get 3 feet 6. So it's 4 foot, 7 foot 6, and you could go 3 foot 6 another time if you want to, but we're only going to go up like 14 1/4 inches, I believe it is. And there's some more forms put together. They've got the conduit over here. Okay, they've got neither one of these has got the end piece on it. You can tell because that end piece will come over here and is cut to fit the shape of this beam. It only fits a left-hand end, so you have to have a left hand and a right hand. Okay, what they're doing here is this is going to be our turkey shelter for the immediate future. That's Al, and he's been working on that whenever we work on it. So what they've done was they sewed a seam around the edge of some of those shipping tarps that they sell at the markets. They're used for shipping stuff overseas that's not in a container. Sometimes they're around things that are in containers just to keep dust off it, like lumber, But they're not real cheap. They could be 800 pesos. It could be $12, but generally they're a lot less, like 100 pesos. Anyway, they sewed a bunch of them together to make a big sheet. Well, his mother sewed them together, Gloria. I don't know if you call her an employer or a friend. We pay her for what she does, but I think she's more of a friend than an employee. But she sewed them together, and then they put a rebar in the hem she put around outside. Or I think they put something wrong with the sewing machine that day. And these guys hand sewed that edge. 2 guys took them, I don't know, 3 hours. And then the rebars keeps it tight. This is the pieces sold together, and you can see what company was advertising. My wife's having a hissy fit because there's a you can't really make it out here, but there's daylight coming through this edge to the right here between the wall and the plastic up there. I told her to get a piece, lay it on the roof, let it drape down, and use the string they call straw, and tie it to all them rebars that sticks out of the concrete. Just close it off. That way all the water will run downhill. Won't be any coming in. And this is a turkey shelter. We don't want to get them soaking wet. And told her to lay some bamboo across these windows here, like 8 of them, so that the turkeys can get up off the floor and roost. If it's rainy, they'll get up there and sleep right through it, you know. You can see the daylight better here. That's a view from the other end. That's a view from the outside showing how much rain would really come through that thing. What she asked him to do was have it on top of the one wall and then lower on this end. I have no idea how that made sense to her. I don't think in Filipino sometimes. It looks to me like 100% of the water that lands on that tarp would inside it would go with the turkeys. Doesn't make sense. So I told her to leave it alone or put the tarp up here and drape it down across the front. They have something they put on the inside to keep the turkeys in there at night. That's what she thinks. I don't think they have anything. I think the turkeys will stay in there. If they don't want to be in there, they can fly out the windows. But they're not going to want out of there unless some kind of predator gets in there and stirs them all up. They're going to stay in there when it's dark. Okay, now we're getting to the pictures that you might want to see if you're still here. I should have put a timestamp on this. I could have put a thing at the front, tell everybody to skip to 12:52. Okay. What we're looking at now is the rooms that are not a room. This is above the living space of the house. There's this sort of a zigzag or a spline-shaped wall that runs around here. And that just makes this pretty much totally earthquake-proof because there's so much rebar in it. And the concrete is plenty thick, 7 inches. And then it's got this spider beam up here in the ceiling. And the fan flanges up here. That's there's 20 3/4 rods that come down like spokes of a wheel, and there's some 2 rings around the bearing mounts for the fan. And the fan motors uses that same shaft. The magnet plates for the motor are on that, and the stator plates go between it. Now they mount off of the end of the whole gizmo there. In any event, what were we going to look at? Oh, skim coat. They've got. They're just putting skim coat right on the thing. There's no wire screen in here. There's no wire screen up there because this is supposed to get a molding. So I'll just take I got a sander that's just for drywall. It's 8 inch or 7 1/4 inch, something like that. And we'll run around there and knock it back to the concrete. But that'll keep the concrete from getting moldy. And if we want, we can leave that. If I do it, I want to do it while we still got a temporary floor here. See, this is an atrium, and this plywood is just sitting on the supports that we had when we poured this upper floor up here and the spider beam. Those stands are the same stands that we use for the downstairs house to pour all this rest of this floor. And we were just storing them. So we said, well, this cap that off, and it'll take some of them apart and make them for the shorter height. So we put a second set of stands on top of this temporary floor. And it was really stiff and stable. I mean, it was absolutely solid. And you can, there's 84 bags of cement. And let's see, it'd be twice of that in sand and 3 times that in gravel, plus the water weight, which is the same weight as the cement. So there's a bunch of weight in that spider beam. I don't know, there's 550 feet of conduit in it, and probably 1,500 feet of rebar. These orange things hanging down, those are LED lights with like, I don't know, 24 LED patches made into the shape of a circle. These other things you see out here hanging down, those are exterior floodlights, and they get LED spotlights. You can point them any direction. They swivel all kinds of different ways. There's another set of them. You can see one right over here, sort of left the center of the screen. Where, I don't know if you can see the pointer. I can see it. Anyway, there's another set there. There's 195 light bulbs in this house so far, and we haven't put any of the task lighting in yet. These lights, if you used them late at night, like after 9 o'clock, this fan's going to be running. And that would be like a strobe. So we're figuring that most of these lights are going to be bouncing off of this wall here, so that they go over top of the fan blades, hit the wall, and then the light comes into the room. And the wall being white, some of it's going to bounce off. The other ones out here don't shine through it. The can lights, the 10 can lights are on one switch. This ring is on a switch. The next ring is on a switch. The ring down underneath of this floor, under the catwalk, is on a switch. The ones around the outside of the house are the same height as those ones under the floor. Those are on a switch. They're on 4-way switches, actually. So you have a master bedroom has a full set of switches. The house girl's room has a full set of switches. There's one at the top of the stairs and one in the pantry because we forgot to put a piece of pipe into the kitchen. So we can't put any switches there. I might find a way around that, but I don't have it figured out yet. I got bigger problems. Okay, we're going around the room to the left, because see, there's the motor off the drill press that was shown in the other picture. And what are these? These are orchids. All the exterior windows in this room are orchids. There's a handrail goes around this atrium like catwalk, and what are those? Lotus flowers. Those are lotus flowers. There's a theme. Every thing, windows that's in it, the same as another window on that level, it's got a theme. And Benji Boy made 2 different kinds of flowers on this floor. It's all greenery. Down below is all tropical reef. Okay, we're coming farther around. This is their work table that they built all that iron on right there. And you see how it's kind of brightened up in there once they put this skim coat. I think I'm going to leave it white. Okay, this is where he's at right now. I don't know how many sections he's got to go around there, but he showed us the ones that he's done. And I guess he's been working on it this week. Partly by himself, because everybody else out there digging dirt. Boyette does the skim coat on the ceilings, and Nane does it on the walls. Boyette's done. Nane's still working. Of course, he only works 3 days a week because he farms. Have no idea what that there is. All these lights like this, they're all installed. They're all wired up. I don't know what that is, unless it's just water or something that came in there and collected. We haven't got the ceramic tiles on the roofs out there yet, and those will completely waterproof the top of the house. We're just going to use the cheapest ceramic tiles we can find. Doesn't make a difference. They're the roof. If they're the same color, that's all they have to be. You know, if they're off level, I don't care. We're going to put down tile adhesive and stick the tiles and make the edge as close as we can, and that's it. It's a roof. If I was going to go up there and live up there, I might be inclined to make it neater, but it's like dirty kitchen. The first word is dirty. Most of them have a dirt floor. Now, dust from the road settles on all the pots and pans and stuff that's hanging up out there. It's not supposed to be a restaurant kitchen in a high-class restaurant. You know, it's for a usable kitchen. It's going to have dirty dishes on the counter once in a while, and it's going to have pots on the stove and stains on the walls. You know, it's a dirty kitchen. The one in the house that nobody ever uses, that's the one that's all stainless steel. You know, tell her to get real. Okay, that's all we're going to do on this video. I just wanted to get a better view of what the skim coat looks on the second floor, because that's a work in project this week. Around the top up here, I said this video's over, but it's not. Around the top, it's just they took some mortar and gobbed it up about 2 or 3 inches deep, so that any water that's getting blown around on the roof won't fall into the house. This is going to have a molded edge up here of concrete, and plus there's a security grill goes in here, and some of this opening out here gets closed off. So we're gonna cut back on the water, and also where you see this down here, this is open to the roof. This because there's a curved ends goes on this on these air openings, and that's to put the concrete into the form, into the mold. We made the forms, we just never poured them. The mixer's left on the roof so we can pour them, and then we're taking the stairs down that we take the mixer up and down with. So that's going to bring on more thoughts. Maybe I'll just have a permanent mixer on the roof. Or maybe I'll take every bolt out of it and we carry it down somehow. Or maybe I'll give it to somebody for moving it. I'm not sure how I'm just going to leave it up there. I don't care if it's up there. I might want to pour concrete someday. Okay. Oh, and the deal on this phenolic board. Well, this video is going to make a half hour. I can't help it. What we do is this is not a good example, but what we do when we need a piece of phenolic board to cut up to make some kind of a form for something we're only going to use once, we come up here and get the stuff that we've got all nicked up and drop things on and hit with a skill saw and whatever. We pull them up and we put the new sheets up here and screw them down. That keeps them from flying away and keeps us a nice solid work surface. You're not going to trip over stuff. Don't have any holes in the floor. I think we can put 18 or 20 sheets up here on this floor. So what we do is we just put the new stuff up here. When we don't do that, like when it comes in, Boyd goes around with 3-inch Torx drives drywall screws, since they don't use Torx drive in the Philippines, so nobody sells a screwdriver to turn them. But he's got a screw gun, and he walks around and puts these Torx screws about 8 inches in from the ends, 2 screws. It goes through like 4 sheets or so with them. They're 3-inch screws. And then puts another 2 or 3 up there and puts a couple more screws. And it turns it into a 1,500-pound block of phenolic board. And if they can turn that thing up on edge and carry it out of there, I'd pay them to watch it. But they're not going to be able to pick it up. And they can't unscrew the screws. So I'm pretty sure they can't unscrew the screws, because we have the only bits in the Philippines that fit them. Okay. No, that's not what I thought it was. That's skim coat. He paints a lot of this stuff with bonding agent, like Quickcrete or Sackcrete, or somebody makes it. We sent it from the U.S. Sent a whole case, a couple, 2, 3 cases of it, and they put that on all the ceilings. And Nane has been dumping a quart of it into his batches of skim coat, so it's in the skim coat as well as on the stuff that he's sticking it to. How he does it's up to him. He seems to be doing a good job. I'm not going to micromanage it. Okay. Remember, we have a pandemic going on, so say a little prayer for anybody that's not been vaccinated. Okay. Now we're going to try to pause this. Bye.